You must have heard it, especially in the early stages of learning. Alternate your right hand fingers. The reason we alternate our right hand fingers is so that we can play with speed and fluidity without building up tension. We're using our right hand digits to great effect because we're not relying on repeating them. If we repeat fingers, it can be hard to detect and slowly but surely build up tension in our playing that may not affect us in the early stages with simple pieces, but when you get into complex pieces, it definitely becomes an obstacle. However, there are many instances where we can repeat a finger to great effect as well. Just like all rules, there's some good reasons to break them. In this case, I want to introduce you to the idea of having a rest stroke immediately followed by a free stroke on the adjacent string. It sounds like this. Or perhaps like this. So let me break it down for you. It's really quite simple actually, there's not too much to break down. Basically, you play a rest stroke on the first string or any string with a lower adjacent string. And then as your finger's touching the lower string, you simply play a free stroke with that same finger. Now this is really a very comfortable movement because the finger is already on the string, so it doesn't have to do any double movements. You can do it with the index finger, the middle finger, and the A finger too. Where it's useful is the rest stroke has an inherently more robust sound, a bit more power to it, and the free stroke a little less. They can be made to sound similar, but the movements have that inherent sound in them. And so if we have a melody on the first string, for example, and we want to bring that melody out, yes, we can definitely weight our fingers, all being free stroke, so that that top string comes out nice and clear and loud compared to the other strings, which would be softer. But we can sometimes use techniques to our advantage, and in this case, the rest stroke will provide a natural accent or a natural projection in that string as opposed to the other strings, allowing us to really differentiate the melody very clearly. In this example, this is Romanza, the anonymous piece made popular by Narciso Yepes. This piece may not want to have this technique on every single note, so we could choose rest, free, free, rest, free, free, rest. Doesn't have to be on every single one. I kind of did it uniformly there on the downbeat, but it could be based on the phrasing or particular notes you want to accent. It doesn't have to be on every single note. However, in the example from Barrios, the Saudade from the Cathedral, this is a lovely piece where we can actually use it on almost every melodic note. It's a very delicate piece, and that technique gives us a great sense of security with contact on the strings, and we use the rest stroke to our advantage. I don't have a name for this technique. I'm sure this is not something I came up with. I'm sure it's been used many, many times in different situations. But if you'd like to give it a name, perhaps you can leave it in the comments below. That'd be a bit of fun. We did talk about it on a live stream once, and I think some fun names came up. But this technique is wonderful for you to bring out melodies, especially in the Romantic period, or really any melody that you would like to push within the texture. So I do invite you to first play around with the technique itself, and then find some examples where you can use it in your own repertoire. Have fun, and I hope you enjoyed this little lesson.